Hey guys, welcome to UKPM Survival and Outdoors here on YouTube. You join me on a fantastic sunny summer afternoon here in the UK. Welcome to another UK Prepper Man video. Thanks for joining me and welcome to the channel if you've not seen me before. My channel is all about prepping, all about having a plan B with bushcraft and survival interlinking throughout. Alright, so in this video I'm going to share with you some good news about having a plan B and what I did to have a plan B. I'm also going to hopefully give you some hints and tips, so if you are in or going to be in a similar situation to the situation that I was in and work that out, then it might give you a little bit of inspiration. Alright, so without further ado, I have decided to retrain, reskill and re-qualify, and I'm in the process of becoming a HGV driver. So big changes for me, alright, big changes, and you never know, it might be some additional content to the channel as we move forward. But I want to give you a bit of an idea over why I wanted to change careers and become a trucker or big rig driver if you are that way inclined, and also hopefully give you some hints and tips of how I'm going about it. Okay, I'm not going to go too techie because I know that some people out there who don't want to be a truck driver, but hopefully, you know, some of it's going to be transferable. So if you are, you know, thinking to yourself, how safe is my job, then, you know, you come to the right place, because in this video I'm going to tell you, because that's how I felt, and that's why I decided that I was going to change careers, all right, and retrain effectively. I suppose it becomes down to desirability and a thing called being dispensable, because I don't know, there's competition, isn't there, at the moment? For a lot of jobs there's competition, and some roles are merged with other roles, and some roles aren't required within a company, and that's where of course we have redundancy, right? And while I'm not directly in that situation, because I love the company I work for, the industry I'm in, and I can't really sort of go too much into that, there's changes, and there's changes across the board in a lot of industries, and I think you have to sort of look at the situation that you're in, and I guess the situation that we're all in and have been in for a number of months, a number of years now. You know, I mean, it is evolving, it's still evolving. I'm not going into it because we all know what I'm talking about, the ongoing situation here in the UK and everything to do with it, alright, because it impacts on a lot of people. So a lot of people think, how safe is the job? A lot of people decide that they are going to look for something else. Sadly, some people do find that they are casualties along the employment path, right? And yeah, people have to have a plan B, in my opinion, and it's a big step to decide you're going to change your career and go into something else. You know, I've been in the industry that I'm in for a number of years. I know there's several like-minded people who are in a similar situation. Darren Funky Prepper, he's moved into security, as you've probably seen on his live streams. I'll let him explain to you on his channel about, you know, his circumstances. But he's moved into security because, you know, you've got to be trained to do that sort of work. You can't just sort of go into it. You have to do a course and everything, qualification, and a lot of it's down to reputation. If you're well connected, you get opportunities to start, you can build, you can develop, and you know, you can go on to good things. So I know that you did mention in conversation, because you know, us YouTubers do talk to each other, that you know, he's possibly thinking about maybe doing heavy goods vehicle driving, and you know, a great skill to go into. And you know what, at the end of the day, we'll probably tally up at the prepper meet, and I'll hopefully maybe give you some tips, Darren. You know, at the end of the day, it's share and share alike, and if anybody's watching this video and wants to drop a comment in for some tips, not necessarily a comment on my video, but maybe a tip that you've had and that you think you can offer somebody else who's watching a video, look, at the end of the day, it's share and share alike. This is a community. Whether or not you're a prepper or whether or not you're average Joe, you know, preppers aren't, you know, subnormal people. We're not all mad, all right? So, you know, but I think it's important to have a plan B. So yeah, drop a comment in the box by all means. If somebody else wants to read it and take that on board, all good, all right? So anyway, how did I become a trucker, or how am I becoming a trucker? All right. The stages in the UK are slightly different to abroad. I'm aware of that. So for you guys overseas, this might not be exactly bang on relevant to you. But okay, in the UK we have to go through several stages. All right, first is the theory. You have to do multiple choice, hazard perception, and then a thing called CPC Module 2, and there is another way you can do it, but this is the way I've done it. You do that, you pass all those, because the pass marks are quite high, right? The multiple choice is 85%, the hazard perception is 67%, and it's 40 out of 50 for the CPC Module 2. All right, so they're quite high pass marks. After that, you have to do your medical. Now, I did my medical first because, again, of the situation here in the UK, it's quite difficult sometimes to get things in order. So I did the medical first. You have to pay and basically do an eye test, and the doctor fills out a load of questions. He goes off to DVLA with your licence, and you come back with a provisional category to start to drive a Class C vehicle, which is a rigid vehicle above 7.5 tonnes. Okay, that's a simple answer to it. Okay, so any vehicle that's a rigid chassis above 7.5 tonnes, because C1 is 7.5 tonnes, so C is above 7.5 tonnes. Effectively, I can train, I can then drive. Realistically, here in the UK anyway, the maximum is about 32 tonnes, so anywhere between 7.6 tonnes and 32 tonnes, you pass the test on a rigid, you can drive one of those trucks. Okay. You have to do your training, you do an assessment drive, you do your vehicle training, so you go out in 4-hour blocks normally to with an instructor to learn how to drive a truck. And this is where, if you've been driving for a number of years and you've got that road sense, you've got that ability and awareness around you of the road, you might be at a bit of an advantage, say if you've just passed your car test, right? But having said it, I know people who do the car test and have then, you know, gone straight on to drive trucks. You know, it depends on how quickly you build that up. But say you've been driving for a number of years, you'll probably find it may be a little bit easier, all right? Once you've done that and you're up to that stage, you can put in for your practical test. You'll go out with an examiner. I think it's around about an hour. And you do a drive round. The examiner marks you exactly the same as on a driving test. There are a few differences. You can adopt a slightly different driving style than you do when you're in a car. More trained people, like trainers, and that your trainer certainly will explain to you more about that than I can do in this video. I'm not a driver trainer, okay, but you can slightly drive a different style, okay, according to the size of the vehicle. All right. Once you've passed the test, okay, and that does include a reverse parking exercise, which is the first thing they do now, and it's the first thing you can effectively fail on. So you might never even get out on the road to do your practical test, but fingers crossed, alright, you pass that bit and you go on the road, you have a great drive, you pass. You have to do the CPC Module 4, which is question and answers about how you load your vehicle, and the examiner will ask questions. And I think you do a show and tell as well. I'm not sure about that, because I think that falls into that CPC Module 4. And hey presto, once you've done that, you get a nice big certificate, and you can send it off and get basically that category as passed on your licence. Doesn't stop there. You then have to do more training to become an articulated Class 1 driver, and that basically is your trailer training. Remember, rigid vehicle. Next one is Class 1, which is articulated vehicle. So imagine you've got your rigid vehicle there. That's Class 2. That could just be a tractor unit at the front with your trailer on the back, or it could just be one unit, okay? If it articulates, it's a trailer. If it's over 750 kilos, you have to do a separate licence, which is your E category. So you then have C plus E, which is HGV Class 1. And that is basically how you become a lorry driver. That is the main sort of things. I do need to add though, in Class 1 training, you do have to do an uncouple and a couple and some other things as well regarding that. But yeah, that is where I'm at the moment. And once you get that, it's just the case really. The only additional training you'll have to do is every 5 years here in the UK, you have to complete 35 hours of what they call CPC training. So basically classroom based training. Most drivers I know do one course a year, and that gives them 35 hours, because it's 7 hours a course. So 7 times 5 is 35 hours. Don't leave it until year 5 to redo it. Do one a year. That's maybe easier to do. and then you can go off and get a job, and the money's really good. Dare I mention about the pay? As a guide, here in the UK, approximate rates of pay can be anywhere between salary or hourly pay. A lot of it's hourly pay, okay? So it might sound not a lot, but normal class 2 work can go anywhere between £11 and about £15 per hour, depending on who you drive for and the hours you're working. I suppose in salary terms that would equate to 23 to about £28,000 a year. And for class 1 work, it's around about £12 to maybe £16 per hour, which is around about 25,000 up to 30 plus, maybe depending on your skills and your qualifications. If you're carrying hazardous materials or you're stopping on nights out, then you can be getting, you know, the mid-30s, so 35, 36,000 pounds. But again, it really depends, again, geographically. Maybe guys in the south, and ladies as well, we have lady truck drivers. Ladies and gents in the south, you might get slightly more than people up north, vice versa. But at the end of the day, it's the hours. You have that freedom, you have that flexibility to be able to, you know, basically work as many hours as you want within your driving hours. All right. So I'm not even going to go into driving hours because I've talked enough about the driving theory. If you want to be a truck driver, then you need to, I would suggest, go and get some books, dare I say it, electronic world. We're all watching this electronically, but I used a couple of theory books that actually came from the DVSA bookshop online. There was a theory book and a driver's handbook, and I basically went through those and did my revision from that. All right, so good old books do work, and of course you can take them anywhere where there's no signal. You know, 4G is not everything, right? So that is basically how I am becoming a heavy goods vehicle driver. And I suppose, you know, the point of this video really it's not a pitch for everyone to suddenly go out and become a driver, but it's just as an option. It's like I said to you about, you know, down in the security, and I know some people who've decided to move into the care industry, the medical industry. I guess there's no limit. If you're sitting there thinking, I've been in the workplace for a number of years, dare I say it, look, yeah, maybe you think you're too old, I don't want to move, I don't want to have a change, can't teach an old dog new tricks. Of course you can. I know a lot of people, and I know I keep coming back to truck driving, it's because I'm what I'm doing, so, you know, I can relate to it a little bit more than maybe some of the other industries, but I know that there's truck drivers out there who are maybe, you know, 40, 45, 50, 55, who've decided that they want to become a truck driver. Why not? You know, why not? You know, it's an option. People are working longer, and you know, at the end of the day, it has been, you know, not being dispensable, because there's very few truck drivers who could not get a job because there's that many jobs out there. And I suppose the only restriction is the individual might have some preferences over the type of driving work they want to do. And of course, here in the UK, we have a point system on your driving licence. If you get too many points, it might stop you from getting certain driving jobs. But you know, fingers crossed, we're all driving sensibly. Okay, and again in the UK, you can only do 56 mile an hour in a heavy goods vehicle. You know, they're limited. So you know, you're not going to get done on the motorway. He says, why is it so many motorways now at 50 miles an hour? No good. That is another topic, all right. But that is basically an overview of how to, or how I am becoming a heavy goods vehicle driver, and a little bit of a, you know, a sort of, not a scaremongering thing. Look, there's too much scaremongering going on at the moment, isn't it? It's about having a plan B, and this is what this channel's about, okay? It's about prepping, it's about having a plan B, and the bushcraft and survival, it interlinks into it, because it's all the same, okay? It's all the same. It's having preparedness, it's having maybe a mindset where, I don't know, in this world, without sounding patronising, there's very few organisations that can carry people. They can offer that support, they can offer a bit of a pick-up, a little bit of a helping hand, but ultimately it's down to us as individuals to make decisions, and sometimes it's difficult decisions, sometimes it's challenging decisions, and sometimes it's flipping scary. For me, to come out of an industry that I've been in for a number of years, yeah, it is a bit scary. It's doing a lot of new things. It's having to learn things. It's having to revise. And how long has it been since I've done that? Yeah? But I'm doing it, okay? And for anybody who's watching this and thinks, you know what, UK Prepper Man sold me the idea of becoming a trucker, be a trucker. If you don't want to be a trucker and you want to go into security, go in security. But have that sort of idea. I'm going to put a little bit of a curveball in this because what if you want to stay in the industry you're in but you're just a bit worried about whether or not you're going to have a job? Alright, what about getting additional skills in the industry you're in? So I'm not going to sort of say an industry, but for example, if you are working in an industry and you can get an additional skill to go into that or do more in that sector, then maybe do an additional course, maybe get some additional qualifications, and then if there is a situation maybe where there was a cut in budgets and you find that you can do more things than maybe somebody who can only do one type of that role, then you're in a stronger position. And it might sound cruel, but I don't know, again it comes back to looking after yourselves, alright? So maybe getting some additional skills. Hey, you could start your own business, but you know, anybody who runs their own business will know that that is a completely separate topic. I could do videos on running businesses, and guys, tough, alright? Very, very, very tough, okay? The long and short of it, and if you run your own business, I know you're going to agree with me with this, it's not about working, it's about working and running and having very little time, alright? If you get your business to the point where you don't have to work in it and run it, then you're doing very, very well. And credit where credit's due, people do that, but a lot of people find that it becomes a life, alright? And that is just how it is, I suppose. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know we've sort of spiraled and gone along, but I've given you the good news, which, you know, I'm not expecting it to be great news for everybody out there, but hey, you never know, you might see a little bit of varied content. I did toy with the idea of doing maybe, you know, vlogs or vlogs, I think we call them, but I don't know, it's not on this channel, alright? It's not for me, alright? But I've given you the idea of anyway about the good news and how I'm sort of getting there, and hopefully that's given you a little bit of inspiration if, as I say, if you're in that situation or going to be in that situation in this crazy old world we're in that I was. Alright, so hopefully that's helped, and as I say, drop me a comment at the bottom, not just about the video, if you've got any tips that you want to share with anybody who's watching the video. If you're a truck driver and you think to yourself, I tell you what, I can give some tips, please do, alright? I'm not there yet, alright? There's a lot of people there who have moved further forward, have got years worth of experience, and probably might look at this video and say, you know, he's missed this, he's missed that, he's missed the other. Look, at the end of the day, it's an overview, alright? But if you can drop a comment down there to give any tips for people to become a truck driver, absolutely fantastic. If you can put any comments down there about the industry that you are in, if you think that's an industry which is meaning that people are less dispensable, put a comment down there as well. You know, share and share alike. We are a community at the end of the day. And I'm not just talking to people who are preppers, I'm talking to anybody who likes to prepare, likes to have a plan B, and likes that reassurance. What I'm saying, put a comment down there, alright? I mentioned about Instagram. A lot of people who've watched this know about it already or know bits of it, because I do put a lot on Instagram, and it's quick, and sometimes you'll see things before you'll see them on the YouTube channel, because hey, we don't have to edit on Instagram, alright? So apologies if you're watching this, it's old news. I know there's lots of people who are watching this and it's new news. So thank you very much for watching, but if you do want to follow me on Instagram, give me a follow, and as I say, please pop a comment down if you can help people out. With that, thank you to everyone who's continuing to subscribe to the channel. I couldn't do it without you guys. At the end of the day, fantastic. Please subscribe if you want to, and please like and share if you want to as well. With that in mind, any comments, love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and until next time, all the best and bye for now.